What's going on, everybody, and welcome to episode 11 of the Playconomics podcast, breaking down the business behind the world of video games. I'm one of your hosts, Bobby Kawecki. Joined with me, as always, is the fresh haircut, sporting, green hoodie wearing, about to see him next week living, Matt Mascari. How you doing, buddy? How you living, guy?
I am well as always, Bobby. How you doing? How was your 4 days since we talked?
It was great. And as always, how am I doing? Extremely handsome and very funny.
Yes.
Okay.
Charming to the teeth.
Living with the utmost relentlessness is how I'm doing, bud. As always. And as always, if you like what you're hearing here, folks, on the podcast, you can catch it when it drops each and every Monday morning at Market Open, 9 a.m. Eastern Time on all your favorite podcast services. And hey, if you're there, if you're listening to this, leave us a good review. And if you don't, I'm going to poop in your mailbox. That's a promise. And a threat.
Both at the same time.
Double the poop, double the time. But yeah, man, how have you been? How's been your 4 days, okay?
Good. Busy week. Happy to be on the podcast. We got gaming news. I don't want to talk about real life stuff. Real life stuff is lame. That's why we play video games. Escapism at its finest.
That's what I like to hear. And speaking of escapism, what have you been playing this week, bud?
I have been playing more of the same. Halfway through Tales of Arise. It is still very, very good. However, my AI, the other people on my team, need counselors because they're suicidal.
The mask guy? Is he putting food up his mask still?
No, it actually, half of it got cracked. So you can now see his face. I know, it's a big reveal.
Real Phantom of the Opera type shit going on, huh,
It's
bud?
crazy. However, the rest of my teammates decide to stand in mechanics at all time. They're just like, oh, boss is going to throw a big rock. Good place to stand. Just good place to stand.
Oh, so, the AI completely.
It's bad.
Completely terrible.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
what else?
Great game. Really, that's it. That is all I've had time for. I played a little Apex, played a little ESO, but nothing notable. Just lots of Tales of Arise.
Now, because I've been hearing a lot of scuttlebutt on Twitter, which, by the way, the new Twitter UI, I'm about to delete the Playconomics Twitter.
Oh, stop it. I love it. Twitter can do no wrong.
I can't tell if you're serious. The new Twitter UI is garbage.
Early stock pick of the week. We got a real one later. Everyone buy Twitter.
Don't do it.
They
were a failing company before the 2016 election. Donald Trump saved Twitter. Okay?
I'm not. But it's saved. It's back. And
yeah,
just saying, Facebook went down. Instagram went down. WhatsApp went down. You know what didn't go down? Twitter. You know why? Because it was already going down on Twitter. It was already going down. Everything goes down. Put it on night mode. Twitter's the best app. Invest in Twitter. Except
that they really tried to make it look like Reddit. Anyway, follow us on Twitter. At Playconomics _. But I was hearing some scuttlebutt. What's the deal with the microtransactions in Tales of Arise? Because I heard that like what you're saying, at a certain point, like you hit a paywall.
I have
like you can buy like gold, but it's not spelled gold.
Yeah, it's definitely spelled gold. I don't know why you would do that. There's no multiplayer aspect of it, to my knowledge, and it's just a JRPG game. So if you were spending real life money to play a game where you don't compete against anybody and you're just playing it for, like, they have difficulty settings, just play it on story mode instead of normal, hard, or insane. So I haven't seen any microtransactions. I haven't tried to get any yet. So I haven't finished the game. So obviously I haven't tapped into the DLC or anything like that. But if you're paying for like player power in Tales of Arise,
that's what I think it is. I think it's like you pay to like cut out the grind.
You could. I have not needed to grind that much. I'm on the 3rd of 5 lords. And I ground out like 1 level. Speaking
of lords, let's let's wind the clock back about a month here at this point. Speaking of lords.
Okay.
How you doing with the Lords of Cinder there, bud? The Lords of Fire and the old Dark Souls 3. Is that still something on your radar?
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it either. But I'm at
the same place.
You're at the same place?
Yeah.
Boo. Listen, I might even start another Dark Souls 3 run soon, okay? Once I finish platinuming Deathloop and there's this lull, I might get crazy. Might start Dark Souls 3 again, because I saw someone playing Dark Souls 3 today, and I was like, oh, yeah. No. Been a while. Might load up a nice twin blade build. Half faith, half dex. See, you gotta speak Dark Souls, okay? You gotta go half faith, half dex, twin blade. You have to make sure you are allocating the points properly into dex.
If you don't think that I went all strength, all vitality, you're insane.
I think I told you to do that. Dex builds are glass cannons, okay? Dex builds are not first run Dark Souls player builds. But if you know what you're doing, okay, you've been around the Dark Souls block a couple times, you have no issues.
Let me tell you something.
You get 2 katanas, starting weapon, and you're
Is that what I'm doing?
Dark Souls hibachi chef.
Good. Dark Souls hibachi chef.
That's the imagery I'd like to conjure for you.
If that's not the thumbnail and name of this episode, we're done doing this podcast.
There's the thumbnail. All right, I'm done. Yeah. I'm on some silly shit today.
I'm done playing Dark Souls. You play Dark Souls.
We've never recorded on a Wednesday. Today we're recording on a Wednesday.
We will never again. We will never record on a Wednesday again.
Not if I keep acting a fool. But all right. Well, I'm glad ESO and Tales of Arise is treating you well.
They're good.
But if you don't mind, I can't.
I was going to say, just talk about Metroid Dread.
It is so goddamn good. It is so goddamn good. It is indescribably good how Metroid Dread is. Okay? And we were in this weird drought for a little while with games this year where like nothing was coming out. And then Ratchet and Clank hit. And I was like, oh, Ratchet and Clank was pretty good. And then Deathloop hit. And I was like, oh, this is like next level good, right? Mm-hmm. Got a platinum. And I knew Metroid Dread was going to be good.
Yeah.
I knew that Metroid Dread was even maybe going to be great. I did not expect Metroid Dread to be this just immaculate. Okay? And I know you're not someone who likes 2D games. I know you're not.
I'm not. I really don't like them.
But I'm glad one of us is playing Metroid Dread. Everything about this game is unlike anything I've ever seen in a side-scroller, right? Because there have been side-scrolling games recently, Metroidvanias even, that have had really good aspects, but they haven't really gotten the cohesiveness down. For example, Guacamelee, which if you've never played and is on Game Pass, phenomenal, really good game. Guacamelee. It's a side scroller, but it's a lot of fun. Okay, you play like this luchador guy who's undead, and he's got different powers. It's a really fun game. There's a sequel as well, but it's very Metroid. Like it makes fun of Metroid. So I'm sure just in passing, like the bird statues where you get the holding out the ball and you get the power up. It's like a meme, right? So they spoof on that in Guacamelee, like right. That to me was the best Metroidvania we've had in a while. Okay. And then, but it wasn't scary. It was like a Pixar Metroidvania. It was fun, right? Then you had a game like Dead Cells, which was an indie game where the combat was just relentlessly fast.
On a side scroller.
But a side scroller. All of these things that I'm talking about are side scroller. Look up Dead Cells. Very fast, very... I want to say Bloodborne, but like I don't want to be like, oh, it's the Dark Souls, whatever. But it was very fast, very visceral combat, right?
Yeah.
Very hard, though, right? But the combat was there, right? So you've got the fun of Guacamelee, you've got the combat of Dead Cells, and then you talk about a game like Hollow Knight, also side-scroller, just dripping with atmosphere. But again, not very approachable to everybody, right? But the atmosphere, the world, So good. Metroid Dread takes all of this. Says, I like what you're doing. I like what you're doing. I like what you're doing. I did this all first. Please hold my beers and watch me work. Okay? Because it is just so, like, it's fast. That's the first thing I noticed, right? And I'm somebody who's, like, played Super Metroid. You run fast. Like, you're always running in this game, right? Mm-hmm. And you're always running. So, like, it's a Metroid game. So, like, you start out the game OP, and then you lose all your powers, and the whole game is you getting all your powers back, right?
Yep.
You've heard the story.
Mm-hmm.
But even with, like, the first couple power-ups, you feel powerful, right? Okay.
What are they?
And spoilers, like, you get missiles, you get, like, they're all the Metroid power-ups, the Morph Ball, the missiles, the Grapple Beam, like, stuff like that, right?
Nothing new, though.
Nothing new so far. Okay. Like, there's, like, one new thing where it's you go invisible. And you're saying, but why do you need to go invisible? Okay?
Because of the android tracing you.
And it's, yes. But it's not like, oh, they're called Emmys. Okay? And they're only in certain parts of the map, but they're in parts of the map that you have to go through. It's not like you can avoid them, but you can't kill them. Okay, if they touch you, you get a little cutscene, and what I will say is it is the most violent cutscene for a Nintendo game ever.
I've seen it.
Just cool. Speared through the face. Ridiculous. But they move so fast. Yeah. And they have, like, the character design. I can't say enough good things about this game. And we'll talk about it. Metroid's our first story, and the sales numbers here, we'll get to that in a second, but, like, It is one of those games where it deserves every copy sold. Not just, oh, I have a Switch, here's a new game. Like, this game deserves to be played by everybody, like Metroid fan and not Metroid fan. So goddamn good.
I'm going to start this take with that I have not played it yet. And after the hype that you've been giving it all week, because you've literally been texting me about it all week, how good it is, I will give it a try, regardless of it being a side scroller, because I did like Fusion and the other Metroids that were on the Game Boy.
Yeah, Zero Mission.
I think, and I'm not saying it's not a good game. I'm not saying it's the best side-scrolling Metroid. I'm not saying anything bad about it. I think the sales were inflated by the OLED. And I think people bought it to play it on the OLED Switch. I'm not taking anything away from it. I just think the sales would not be as good because it is a 2D side-scrolling Metroid game. It was going to sell well. I don't think people would be making a big deal about it if it wasn't compounded on by the OLED coming out.
It's true. I'll give you that. I think you get a little bit more of that, like, new console pop, like that the white and black Switch looks hot, by the way. The white and black colors.
I really want
looks hot.
I really want one really bad.
If my TV was an OLED, I would definitely be like, I should get the OLED Switch. I rarely play in handheld anymore. Like, the first couple of years I had the Switch, I was traveling a lot more.
Yeah.
So I was definitely in, like, if I was still on that, I would have been like, oh, OLED Switch, it's a must.
True.
I'm playing on the TV. What I will say, though, is this is the only other game other than Breath of the Wild that I prefer on Switch playing on the TV. And you wouldn't think so because it's a side scroller, but you see so much more.
Yeah. Are you playing the Joy-Cons or are you playing on a Pro Controller?
Pro Controller.
As you should.
Pro Controller, yeah. Metroid Dread is phenomenal. You should play it. You should buy it. You don't need to know about the story. They give you a little recap in the front. That's fine. Right?
See,
but as like a horror game, as an atmosphere game, as a... When you're... There are parts where you're running, where you're like... You get those like, oh, did I almost... It almost had me, but it didn't. And the bosses are great, right?
I saw some of the boss footage, and they do look really good. A lot of it is... Awesome. It doesn't look like cutscene fights, but like it seems like...
So it's
not a side-scroller anymore. Yeah, the quick time.
Quick time events, but they don't tell you they're quick time events.
Yeah.
Right?
They're good.
So there's like the first boss, and I'm going to say what it is, because you've all seen it. Matt's seen it. It's in all the trailers, okay? It's this like snake dinosaur thing. It's like blue and orange. So cool, but it turns invisible.
Nice.
And there's a part where you can like parry it, and it goes into that like quick time event kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And like I missed it the first time. I was like, "What the hell is this?" But then I realized you're moving within the quick time. So good, so good. Cannot wait for you to play Metroid.
Yeah, I'll download it. I'll download it tonight. See what happens. I'll do a little homework for the podcast later. For next week's episode.
I cannot wait to hear about it.
See if my opinion changes.
Oh, it will. It will.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Continuing on the Metroid train, let's get right into our first topic here. And this is coming to us from Video Games Chronicle. I like Video Games Chronicle. They do some good work. They're doing God's work over there at Video Games
VGCs,
Chronicle.
Sponsor us.
Yeah, would love to have Mr. Andy Robinson on the podcast. Andy, if you're listening,
we read the article.
Let's talk it up, bud. So yeah, reading from Andy's article here, Metroid Dread has enjoyed a strong debut in the UK. The latest box office game sales charts has indicated. That is according to the latest GfK sales data, which was seen early by GamesIndustry.biz journalist Christopher Dring. According to Dring, even without including digital downloads, Dread is the biggest launch for the franchise in UK chart history, beating Metroid Prime 3 Corruption on Wii by a good margin. Now, this is an update to the article. GfK has since said Dread was actually just short, less than 1,000 units of the series' best launch when considering only box sales. With digital included, however, it certainly has set the record. Right now,
yeah,
I'm gonna leave it there. You guys can go read the rest of the article from Andy. Good work over there. This is just proof that people love the Switch. The Switch has a phenomenal attach rate, and I think that when the game is good, it helps, right? Like a game is going to do well on the Switch regardless. Mm-hmm. But when a game is good, right? When you have an Animal Crossing, when you have a Metroid, right? And proof of this is like the Link's Awakening remake, the Zelda. It was good. It was fun. Launched with the Switch Lite, but it didn't do Breath of the Wild numbers, right? This is its own thing. And deserves all of it.
Now, let me ask you.
All the praise.
Let me ask you. If instead of Metroid Dread, the OLED launched with Prime 4, do you think Prime 4 is putting up these numbers? Because I think it would crush whatever numbers these are putting out. Because I just think...
Hard to say. I get where you're coming from. Do I think Prime 4 would do the same numbers? Only if the Prime trilogy was released first, right? Because I think with 2D Metroid, they're so and can be so self-contained despite the fact that there's a story. I think there's just something about side-scrollers that inherently you feel like there's less story, like it's more gamified.
Yeah.
Whereas with Prime, because it's the first person, because it's a 4, right? They didn't name this Metroid 5, even though technically it's the 5th Metroid.
Yeah.
Canonically, right? Because it's just Metroid Dread. I think that goes a long way to kind of help people be like, oh, this is a new thing, even though it's not.
Yeah.
I hope Prime 4 is great. I'm not someone who like shits their pants for Metroid Prime. I get why people love it, but I'm a 2D Metroid purist all the way.
Oh, I love the Prime
G.
series. I played the first one, the second one, the online multiplayer in the third one. Maybe it's just I'm excited for Prime 4, which is why like I didn't want to play Dread because like I wanted 4. I wanted Prime 4. And when this announcement came out and it wasn't Prime 4, I was like, who cares about another side scroller? Apparently a lot of people. And that's fair.
A lot of people.
And like I can't even say that because I've played them all. Played every side scroller that's come out. They're really good. They're good games. I just was really looking forward to Prime 4. They canned it. They said it was going to get rebooted, which I appreciate. I'd rather you do that than launch a crappy product. But I want a Prime 4. And I'm Metroid Dread sucks.
Oh yeah, that's what you're telling people.
Yeah, no, that's 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10.
I think when it comes down to Prime, it comes down to that old Nintendo thing, bad game is bad forever, delayed game is just delayed kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right? I think Prime has a lot more riding on it than a Metroid Dread.
I agree.
What I mean by that is the last 2D Metroid, the Samus Returns one, was a great game. Mm-hmm. The remake of 2, right? So the faith was already bought in for a 2D Metroid. So plus, it's just an awesome game, right? I'm curious to see what Retro Studios does with Prime 4. I think it's going to be something special. I think it's either going to be Prime 4 or Two Breath, Too Wild is going to be with the Switch Pro. I think we're still getting a Switch Pro.
Still? The only reason I think they'll do it is I think they're going to make a hard console where there's no more there's no more pickup feature.
Nintendo loves doing this stuff, man. I mean, we got 156 million different 3DS iterations.
We did.
Right?
The 2DS, the new 2DS, the 3DS, the 3DS Slim, the 3DS so many. So
simply predicated on that, I'm a big believer that even if it's not a pro Switch, because I don't think the Switch is going to be competing with PS5 or Xbox Series X, right? But I think we're going to get an updated Switch. We have to, right? We almost have, Switch has been out since 2017, right?
Yep.
Going on 5 years. That's about, if not a little bit more than the halfway to your average console life cycle.
And you don't think the OLED is it?
No. The OLED screen is cool. The dock is nice. But if it's not it's not giving me something so new that my Switch already plays Switch games.
Yeah.
So that's that. I think we see a new Switch. I'm super happy for Metroid Dread. And I'm just thrilled, titillated when I see you this weekend. Spoiler alert, boys and squirrels. Oh, yeah. I'm seeing Matt in person this weekend.
It's going to be fun. Okay. We're going to sit on the couch and play Metroid Dread together.
I can't wait to poop in the toilet in your house.
Great.
I've been thinking about that a lot.
Buddy. I just fixed it all for you.
You're going to have to fix it again. Yeah. Okay.
I was competing with Chris Pratt for the role of Mario, and I was trying to be a plumber. I was doing the full, I won't say his name on the podcast, but a quick little anecdote. Matt and I have a friend. If you're listening to this, you know exactly who you are. Who once tried to take the biggest poop ever. Okay? This man was going for a record. Bless your wife and kids.
Okay, bless your wife and kids now.
Bless them.
Okay. Naval officer. Doing our country proud.
He's a really good guy. Just a really good guy. American hero.
American hero, but once tried to take the biggest poop ever. And this man was eating unhealthy amount. So I'm channeling a little bit of his energy before I come visit this week. Okay? That's all I'm going to say about that.
Sorry.
Next topic.
I can't wait.
I can't wait either, bud.
Thrilled. Yeah. The next topic is New World.
Oh boy, this again.
And you like side scrollers that are 2D. I like MMOs. So we're talking about what I like now.
Yeah, you do.
New World is taking the world by storm. Still think it's the #1 game currently right now on Steam. It is doing really well, but I think it is fake. I don't think it's doing that well. And I'm not saying that the numbers are fake. I'm saying that they're inflated by the fact that WoW is in a complete dumpster fire. Shout out episode 1. Final Fantasy 14 is in a content slump, and Elder Scrolls Online in a content slump. So, in the next month or month and a half, Final Fantasy 14 gets its next expansion, Endwalker.
I thought they came out already because I feel like I was seeing ads for that. Did it not?
You were definitely seeing ads for it. I'm almost positive it comes out the 25th of
this month.
November.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah,
25th of November. If it's not Endwalker, it's a different expansion. I could be wrong on the expansion name. But they have an expansion coming out November 25th or November 23rd, and it's going to be good. The content that they're putting out in Final Fantasy XIV is just been objectively really, really good content, and they stole a lot of World of Warcraft's market. I think in that transition period, because there is that lull in content from World of Warcraft being bad, Final Fantasy not having an expansion yet, and ESO not having an expansion out, a lot of people went to New World because it's a brand new game. There's a solid grind to it, and they have a lot of content they haven't played in-game. Once new content comes out for the good, established MMOs, they're going to go back. And you're going to see the people that left WoW to go to New World. You're going to see the people that left Final Fantasy XIV to a content drought that went to New World. And the ESO people for the content drought that went to New World all come back to Final Fantasy and ESO. I don't think they're coming back to World of Warcraft anytime soon. They have a lot of ground to make up. But,
so, a couple things, and I don't mean to cut you off here, only to give context to my thought process here, and I think the audience as well. Number one, other than WoW, are any of these games subscription-based?
Yes.
Which ones?
Just Final Fantasy XIV, and ESO can be for
if
ESO Plus. Yeah, but most people do because it's just nice quality of life things, and it's not that expensive.
Gotcha. So follow-up question is, at what point do you, because I feel like, and this is, again, an outside looking in, I feel like people like you, people who live and die by these MMOs, it's almost like a marriage, right?
Agreed.
Like, how many times are you going to get remarried? Because each time, you're starting from zero, basically, right?
Yep.
So, did you play Final Fantasy online? Do you have the subscription? And, new content over here. So now you're getting a subscription over here. Oh, now I got to start on level 0 again. And then by the time you jump back into Final Fantasy, you're like, I got a power level. I got to do this. So I guess what I'm saying is, does that work? Because you have that constant kind of dopamine hit of, there's a grind here, and there's a grind here, and or is it a kind of detraction and being like, it's too much, too much across the board?
So when new content comes out, it is absolutely not that. When new content comes out, everyone comes back because it's new content. It's almost like a new game got released. And it's just almost like a different skin of what you were previously doing. But they improve a lot of things. They change the story. They add new stuff to the game. So it's not just a skin. It's an expansion. So you will see if you go back on WoW sub numbers, WoW like transactions and how many people are buying the game, it peaks at expansions and patches.
Okay.
So when they basically, for the life cycle of World of Warcraft, is they have a solid number. So like 9.0 was Shadowlands. Shadowlands is going to have a 9.0.5, 9.1, 9.1.5, 9.2, 9.2.5. Every time one of those 0.5s or an additional, or the 1 or the 2 show up, everyone comes back to WoW, does all the content because the new raid boss is out, the new achievements, the new PvP season, and they come back to play it. And then they peace out after, and they either go do the other MMO that also has content that they want to play, or they just play other video games. So
see, like, it's amazing to me, and we talked about this. You guys can go back and watch where we ranked the video game monetization tiers.
Yeah.
I think the MMO business model, despite being one of the first, is still the best, right? Because basically what you're saying is Destiny 2. I
also
casually play Destiny 2.
Yep.
Right? I'm not somebody who's every week playing Iron Banner. I'm not somebody who's all about Trials of Osiris. Every new season, maybe I'm there, maybe I'm not. But like when there's a big expansion, like when First Light came out, or like Witch Queen is coming out, Destiny 2 absolutely rocks and is so much fun, right? So I get what you're saying there. But you don't think New World has what it takes to stick in?
They can change it. Like, they can improve it. I'm not, like, the groundwork for New World isn't bad. The combat's okay. The aesthetic of the game I enjoyed. It looks really nice. It plays well. The substance in the game, the storyline, the questing, the end game content, the mechanics. It's so bad to jump in that game because it looks disgusting. Like, it looks just physically unappealing. You could fix that, and then they have a really good game. I think it's going to take a massive hit while these things are happening, or while Final Fantasy is releasing Endwalker, and while ESO, I forget what the new quarter of the expansion is for ESO, but while that's happening, it gives New World a chance to come off of its hype and reevaluate and look and fix what's going on. And I think their 0.1 patch or their 0.5 patch is going to be really, really important for the success of this game, because if they don't fix those critical issues, why would you play an unpolished MMO when you could just play a polished one?
I'm right there with you. I think that first patch has to be filled with user feedback. I mean, like the PS5's first big firmware immediately addressed a lot of the things that people had, like gripes that they had with the UI, and it showed like, hey, they're listening. So I'm right there with you. And I think the tale of an Amazon game like this is still early in it being written.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
For sure.
But I'm curious to see how it competes, man. I'm really curious.
I would also like to note, you mentioned that the MMO genre being extremely profitable. Would you like to know what just took the place of Final Fantasy's most successful game in the entire franchise?
Which was what? And I'll tell you the answer. What was the most successful Final Fantasy game? Was it 15?
14. The MMO one just passed.
Oh, duh. Okay.
And it's at 24 million active subscribers, which is a ton.
So like 24 million. So what past Final Fantasy has 24 million active subscribers is what you're saying?
No. It generated the most revenue out of any Final Fantasy game ever.
Oh, and something just dethroned Final Fantasy?
No. I'm saying it is. Like, it just became the most profitable Final Fantasy game ever.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Well, that makes sense. That makes a ton of sense, actually.
And I want to say that 24 million is also the most an MMO's ever had subscription base, because I'm pretty sure WoW in its peak was like 12.
What a shame.
I know.
Did you ever end up playing Diablo? Did you ever end up playing Diablo 2?
I played Diablo 3. Did the remastered
that
Diablo
new
2
one
come out?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Did you ever play it?
No, it's on my list. I honestly thought it was coming out more towards Christmas time.
Well, I know what you're getting for Christmas.
I know. It was either on my list. I thought it was coming out on Christmas, or it was my plan for Christmas was to play some Diablo.
Well, from me to me.
It was okay. I wanted it to be console World of Warcraft when I played it, and it's just not. It's
just not. It's totally different game.
Yeah,
totally
it's very different. And I need to go back into it with that kind of mindset to really enjoy it. But it looks good. It does. And it's got a lot of things that I like in it. I just haven't gone into it since I was disappointed that it wasn't WoW on a console. Which all of the other MMOs, besides New World, Final Fantasy XIV, Elder Scrolls Online, you could play on a console. World of Warcraft, put your game on a console, and I will resub tomorrow.
Yikes, that's a big proclamation, G.
Tomorrow. I just want to be on my couch. I want to be on my couch.
Leroy Jenkins in it.
Just full Leroy Jenkins, chilling with Thrall, hanging out with Sylvanas. It's just...
You had me at Thrall. Bud.
At Thrall?
Yeah.
He's a great character. Green Jesus.
Opens up that dark portal left, right, and center.
He did go through it. In the movie. In the movie, he went through it. Yeah, as a baby.
Every Friday night, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday matinee. Thrall is in that dark portal.
Mom actually, go ahead. All right, cool. I'll explain to you the plot of World of Warcraft, the movie.
I'll stop desecrating the dark portal
because I'll kill you.
Bringing it kind of all together here, and this is something that's been hold on.
Did your computer crash? This is why you shouldn't have a Mac.
No, it's yours. It says Matt Mascari's video has been disabled due to internet quality issues. Their video is still recorded.
Yikes. So do we keep
I guess we're still recording because it says they're still recording.
Okay.
So it's in God's hands now, Matt. I'm not even editing this out. Okay.
No, don't.
We're off
this
the
is my
rails
fault.
here,
this
buddy.
is my fault. I called you out in the middle of the stream, and it was me. And then.
Oh my God. Oh no. I really hope this is not how the recording sounds because it sounds like you're talking to me through a tin can from...
How about now?
Oh, jeez. All right, everyone. I think we lost Matt in the void.
No, I'm fine. I'm in the dark portal. It'll be okay.
This is what happened.
This is what
about the goddamn dark portal.
You did this.
Was it not the same thing last time? The Kingdom Hearts people and the World of Warcraft people, they're banding together.
That's a dangerous. That is a dangerous fan base to merge.
Oh, Christ alive! All right, bringing it down in the last topic here. This is something that's been bubbling for a while, and it's finally coming to some sort of a head. And that's the Apple versus Epic App Store kind of whole lawsuit rigmarole. Now, for any of you who don't know, top level view of this is that Apple was not letting Fortnite on the App Store due to the fact that Fortnite was trying to circumvent purchase of V-Bucks, I think it is, right?
Yep.
That's the Fortnite transaction. Yep. They were trying to basically circumvent the App Store, right? So what they were trying to do is direct people away from the App Store to purchase the V-Bucks. And Apple said, nope.
Yeah, no.
Not in this life or the next one. And they've been going back and forth.
Instantly
right?
lawyered up. Actually, I think they got a judge's decision.
Right? So they did get a judge's decision, which brings us to now, this article from James Batchelor over at gamesindustry.biz, and it says that Apple appeals against court ruling that would enable external payment options. Anti-steering restrictions were to be lifted in December, but iPhone maker wants to wait until after legal processes. Apple has filed to appeal against the judge's decision from this year's trial against Epic Games. Reuters reports the iPhone firm has asked the U.S. federal court to pause orders that require it to change its anti-steering practices on the App Store. Apple has claimed that enabling this change would cause harm to its own business and its consumers. I'll stop there. You guys can go read the rest of James' article.
Yeah.
Now, keeping what I just said in mind, we have another article from gamesindustry.biz that stands kind of one-to-one with what I just said, okay? And it's that Apple is estimated to earn more from gaming than Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. This also comes to us from James Batchelor. How you doing, James? And it says that analysis suggests that games generated $8.5 billion for the App Store in fiscal 2019 alone. A new report suggests that Apple is generating more revenue from video games than the three other platform holders, despite not directly producing games or making game-specific hardware. That's according to Wall Street Journal analysis, which explored the profitability of the iOS App Store and gaming's contributions toward that. So
now, is that all three of them combined?
I don't think it says.
Okay. Because it was saying all three of them, and when I had read the articles, I had read it as combined, and that is a huge flex, if that is true.
I'm reading through here, which is... Okay.
If not, we'll be conservative and just say any of it. It's beating all of the three. I'm thumbing
through here. In one way or another, it's
beating
winning,
all three. Yeah.
Right? Whether that's one-to-one or as a group. But keeping those two things in mind, right? So you have Apple fighting against Epic, saying that, no, you have to process your payments through us, and we get a VIG on that, we get a cut. Mm-hmm. And then you have this other thing that says, hey, you're making more money than the big guys, while not actually making anything. And this goes back to exactly what I said about Steam, right? Apple makes nothing. They own the land, not the houses. They let everybody do business on their land, and therefore they collect money. Look, it's a little grimy, but it's nothing new, okay?
I disagree. I don't think it's grimy at all. I think what's grimy is what Epic Games tried to do to circumvent that and go around the terms of agreement in terms of working. Because one, what Apple does is charge 15% for a company that has a revenue of under $1 million and 30% for everybody else. It sounds like a lot. However, that is by far, it's just industry standard. That's what Microsoft or that's what Xbox does to all of the games it puts on its consoles. That's what Sony does to all of its games that goes on its consoles. And that's what Google does for all of their phone products on their mobile devices. So it's not an egregious thing that they're asking. It's market value and it is industry standard. With that in mind, I think 30% on those sales with what you were going to about owning that land is robbery for how much access and marketing they get by having their app on a phone.
Yep.
It could be 70%, and I think it would be worth it.
Oh yeah.
Because everyone, to quote the great Mike Morhaime, and by great we don't mean great because he's in some hot water with everything he's done at Blizzard, but don't you have a phone?
Oh, yeah. Look, I mean,
everybody's got one, and you're marketing to the entire planet. You can make an app for your 70-year-old grandparents because they have a phone. They don't have an Xbox, they don't have a Switch, and they don't have a PlayStation, sorry. But they'll buy I know, my fault. We're on a gaming podcast, and I called it a Sony. but
what the hell is wrong with you?
Brain Age probably kills it on the App Store, and it's marketed towards older people, 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Sudoku type stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And to think that Epic Games would try to get under that and get away from that, I get it, because like business respects business. I think it's ridiculous.
And here's my thing.
Hit me.
When I say, I want to quantify what I mean when I said it was grimy.
Okay.
I think it needs to be a little bit more black and white, and I think Apple just needs to take a very pragmatic business stance, and maybe not in so many words as you just said, but plain and simple, say, we provide exposure to our user bases, right? The people who develop apps on the App Store do much better than they would anywhere else. And therefore, if you want to play, you don't like how we play, don't play like this, right?
You're telling me Epic Games doesn't know that?
But here's the thing, right? Epic Games knows this. And let me tell you why they know this. Because this is not the first thing that's happened. And I don't know if there was a big stink about it. But if you're a comic reader, okay? Mm-hmm. If you read comics, you know that the Comixology app, an Amazon company, Amazon owns Comixology. You cannot buy comics through the app. You have to go into your Amazon account, buy the comic, and then it will go to the Comixology app, which seems completely stupid, right? But it's for the same reason. There was this whole thing where you used to be able to, and then Apple's like, whoa, no, not here. So I think from both ends, the articles we're talking about here, and I guess the situation in general, there's 2 points to be made about it. Point number one is mobile gaming is not going anywhere. Don't you have a phone? Don't you have a phone?
Was right.
Was right.
He was right. We do. We do.
I think it's... I think everybody's waking up to the fact that everybody is playing a different game. Yep. Okay? Nobody is playing a game on a phone in lieu of playing Deathloop. Nope. Okay? The people who are going to play Deathloop are going to play Deathloop. The people who are going to play Diablo, let's say, right, are not playing Diablo all the time. Those people are on the bus. Those people are going to work. They're on the train, right? They're waiting to pick up their kid from school. So it is just to say that I feel like devs are now realizing, oh, we're not competing, but we're going to use and abuse this space for ourselves, right? Because Diablo's not competing with Diablo.
No.
There's nothing else like it. League of Legends, same thing.
I really don't think they're even you said that they're not trying to compete, but I don't even think they're trying to they're not trying to get the people that play Diablo to play a mobile game, and they're not trying to get the people that are playing Diablo to play Diablo on a console. They're just putting their content out for everyone now.
Yep.
And they know that the hardcore gamers that want to do PC Master Race and do Diablo on there, you could play it on the computer, but we're also going to have this mobile game because it's going to make us a lot of money. And you get crossover. That Diablo fan, while he's sitting in the car, maybe he hops on and plays Diablo Immortal. And maybe let me check what this is about. Let me see. But that's my point, right? Yeah. And for a long time, there was this, this is the end of consoles, right? Like, it was this huge race to the bottom with mobile games, where I think now it's a little bit more like, well, hold on a second. We have a Call of Duty game on the phone. We have a Diablo game on the phone. We have a League of Legends. These are not small titles. These are not... No.
Right?
And Apex is coming.
Exactly. So... It's high tide raises all boats, right?
Yeah.
So if you're sitting there being like, oh, well, how could Apple do this? Apple's a business. They make no allusions to what they're here to do. They're here to make money, okay? But at the same time, they're making more money than anyone else. And people are going to try to be like, how can we corner this market while spending the least amount of money possible?
Yep.
How do you think this ends up? How do you think this ends up? Do you think we end up with a world where someone tells Apple that they have to do business in a way other than how they deem fit? Yes. Because that's basically what this is coming down to.
Yeah, I think you're going to see regulations go on services like this. So I think right now these things like Apple and the App Store I can't think of something that's so ingrained in society that has the kind of market that a phone would, that there's not going to be increased regulations on how to get products on those other products. Like, I think there's going to be a change. I don't know what it is, but I was very surprised when I had originally seen this article. I read it as Apple was suing Epic Games because it found a way around it and it was trying to rein them in. And I thought that the judge's decision had gone for Epic Games. And I was like, I could kind of understand that, keeping Apple in check and trying to get profitability towards the company and not basically the distributor. And then when I read it again and when I actually read it and saw like the correct information and everything, I completely understood that Apple is in every right. And it's just like any distributor ever. If you're going to ShopRite to buy any product that has come from somewhere else, they get a piece of it, ShopRite gets a piece of it. And basically,
the wheel keeps turning.
So
that's just how it's done.
They're just an electronic distributor. And there's nothing... I talked myself out of it. Nothing's going to be done about it.
You just talked yourself out of it.
Yeah, I talked myself completely out of it. Because you can't, because they're just a distributor. And and there's nothing wrong with that. Because that butcher shop that sells their meat to Stop and Shop or ShopRite or Acme, wherever you are in the country.
Acme?
Yeah, I have Acme's near me.
The hell is Acme?
I'll take you to it. It's a ShopRite. It's a ShopRite.
You got a lot of places to take me, man. This Wawa nonsense, Acme.
I don't even want to start. You get a gobbler. I'm getting you a gobbler. It's a Thanksgiving sandwich, Bobby.
I just want to make sure we're talking about this is a sandwich.
Well, it's a sandwich. It's got hot.
Oh,
it's a sandwich. You put it right in your dark portal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sandwich.
I get you one.
Right.
Yeah. Regardless, what I was saying before we took a road down the dark portal into the gobbler. What I was saying is that Apple's just a distributor, just like Google is, just like Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo are going to be. They give you a spot to put your product, and then they want a piece of it because without them, your product wouldn't have gotten out. And I think that's completely fair.
I'm trying not to sneeze. I'm not making faces.
I was going to say, did I make that compelling of an argument? Like you just...
No, I mean it's a very compelling argument. Sneeze face aside, I think something I don't know where this ends, and I feel like it's genuinely a toss up because I can see how the argument's made both ways. But that's why and I know I've seen people be like, oh, the Apple this, Epic Games that, because it's been so, like, I wanted to wait until kind of the dust settled a little bit, and I feel like this is a good place to be like, all right, here's the state of things right now. There's a good place to pick it up. So if there's any developments on the Apple Epic front, we'll be sure to discuss it further.
I get one more thing. Do you know where I want it to go? I want these companies to make so much money on mobile games that they get to put out absolute consumer dreams of video games where they're no longer working. It's such what? But like, imagine if Call of Duty wasn't trying to make money and they were just putting out the best product.
Then we wouldn't have had 7 Black Opses in space.
Yes, but what I'm saying is imagine if you had or Fallout the 76. What if that wasn't caked in microtransaction and DLC and crap like that?
Oh, no.
What if these companies, what if they make so much money off the mobile game versions of these IPs that they put out the best possible quality console games?
Oh, funnel the money back.
Yeah.
I like where your head's at, because I wouldn't mind a bunch of people playing Fallout Shelter or Diablo Immortal or whatever you people play on mobile.
Because like mobile games are mobile games.
And they're bullshit.
Yeah.
So we call them mobile game bullshit.
Yeah. Until your phone is strong enough that you can plug it into your TV and everything is just a switch.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here.
Hit me.
Okay. We need Tim Cook on the podcast, okay? I need the words.
We have as good of a shot of Tim Cook coming on this podcast as Steve Jobs.
Listen, I know a great witch doctor.
I was going to say, I will get a Ouija board and have Steve Jobs on this podcast, too. We'll take anybody. Send us a DM. Send us an email. Playconomicspodcast at gmail.com.
It is a dream of mine.
To talk to Tim Cook.
All right. Oh yeah. I want to be in a room with Tim Cook, and mark my words, this is something we'll do. I'm going to take a little bit of a vision board detour here.
Check it.
And I just want to be like, Tim, what do you think about mobile games off the record? And then just have Tim Cook be like, hello, yes, and welcome to this talk. I'm trying to think. He's got like this like light Tennessee accent, I feel like, and they're all mobile game bullshit. Like he's like one or two octaves, I feel like, above Al Gore. Like he's got like this very light, like listen to Tim Cook speak. But yeah, I want the words mobile game bullshit. About. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I do. However, with your impression of Tim Cook, he will never be on this podcast. And
well, I need to listen to him in person.
If he is, we will only talk like him. We will both do the impression while talking to Tim Cook.
But we have to do the California hands. We have to do the tech bro slide deck hands. Yes, and this is the best iPhone ever. Like I have to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Side note, completely unpodcast related here. Have you seen the guy?
Oh.
No, I watched Squid Game. I'm not going to waste anybody's time. Okay, there was one good episode. Episode of Squid Game. It was the Marbles episode. It was about 7 episodes worth of show stretched out to 9 episodes. The Marbles episode was the only good one. Moving on. Okay. I'll send you the link after.
Wildly hot take.
Oh yeah, overhyped. There's this video. Have you seen this guy who made a movie, like a fully produced movie about a Robin Williams biopic, and he's playing Robin Williams, and he's doing it is the most impressive thing I've ever seen. I'll send it to you after.
Please do. We'll watch it on Saturday while we're playing Metroid.
No. So this guy, as someone who is a SAG member, the balls on this guy to say, no, you don't understand, man. I wish I had the balls to do what this guy did. He hired himself a crew. He looks like Robin Williams.
Yes.
He does an impression of Robin Williams, which is crazy because he's doing an impression of someone who does It's all over the internet.
Yeah.
Right? And wrote out a scene about when Robin Williams found out that John Belushi died. Mm-hmm. Bro, it's like you know when you watch an Oscars or some shit like that, and they're and the nominees are, and they say the name and they play the 15 to 30 second little clip.
Yep.
He gives them this clip. It's the most stupendous thing ever, right? I bullshit. I'm yeah, I want to be Wolverine. I want to be the next Wolverine. I don't have the balls to be let me 15, 20 grand, hire a high budget film crew, film me as Wolverine.
You could.
I could.
I would watch it.
Anyway, I'll send you the link later. Let's bring it on home with Matt's stock pick of the week.
Oh, Bobby already knows what it is.
You want me to do the jingle?
Yeah, jingle for me.
Matt's stock pick of the week, brought to you by Gatorade.
Gatorade sponsor us.
What's the stock pick of the week, Matt?
We've been talking about it pretty much this whole podcast. It would be, actually, hold on really quick. Dramatic pause. My laptop has not been plugged in this whole time, and it's about to die.
God.
So I'm gonna go plug it in.
Oh my God. All right, everyone. Matt has left the podcast. It's just us, and we're going to have a little talk here. A little fireside chat, okay? If you want your dreams, okay, go get them. Matt and I, it's our dream to start a podcast. This guy who did the impression of Robin Williams, it was his dream to play Robin Williams in a movie, and he's doing it. So whatever your dreams are, get after it, okay? Relentlessly and unequivocally every day. Just get after it, okay? And now Matt's back.
I'm going to ignore all of the mean things you were saying while I was gone.
I was giving an inspirational speech.
I hate you.
Damn it. I was.
Do the jingle again. No, I'm just kidding. It's Nintendo. The stock pick of the week is Nintendo.
Nintendo. Okay.
It is approaching. It is approaching its 52-week low. And as we always say on the Playconomics podcast, we're not your financial advisors. But, Bobby.
Buy the dip.
Buy the dip.
Buy the dip, everybody.
Buy the dip. It's at its 52, or it's $4 off its 52-week low. It's got a $30. It took a $30 hit. Just buy it. It's Nintendo. It's not going anywhere.
Here's the thing.
Hit me.
With Nintendo as a stock pick.
Yeah.
Pre-Switch, I would have said that Nintendo is not a bulletproof company. And the Switch has shown me that it is, but not because of its hardware. Because Nintendo is a toy maker first and foremost, right? All of their consoles are gimmicks, right? That's the reason they don't really compete with them. But what Nintendo has in value is its IP.
Agreed. The Italian plumber.
But everything. Link, think Smash, right? There's a reason people go wild for Smash. So I think based on its IP alone, Nintendo's a bulletproof company. And I like where your head's at with that.
Because they could put out the worst possible Pokemon game ever.
Oh, you mean the Diamond and Pearl remake that's coming out?
Yeah. It looks awful.
Terrible.
I hate the aesthetic. They didn't change anything. It's the same game, just with a reskin. If it's good, I'm going to be really upset.
Are you going to buy it?
Don't
you dare. Don't you dare.
Pre-ordered it. Get out of here. I have the shiny Zarude and Celebi on my Sword and Shield right now from pre-ordering it.
Ew.
Yeah, I don't care what you say. It's Pokemon. I'm buying it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
So I'm going to come on this podcast after November 15th and tell you how really good it is and how much fun I'm having. And then November 23rd, the next time we have the podcast, I'm going to say this is the exact same thing. I shouldn't have bought this. And I regret this deeply. I was wrong. Right. But you know what? I gave Nintendo $60, and that $60 I should have put into a Nintendo stock.
You could, or Metroid Dread.
Or Metro. I'm going to buy that. I will buy it later today.
You should buy it. You should 100% buy it.
And also a share of Nintendo. Just kidding.
Hey, I already turn up.
Yeah,
you do? I am not a Nintendo shareholder. I should say that for disclosure. But yes, if you guys like what you've been hearing as we round out the podcast here, we do have a listener message. We're formulating an answer. Big things to come in the next couple of weeks. We will be incorporating listener questions. We're going to have our own segment, all dedicated to you fine folks. So reach out to us, verbally abuse us on TikTok. So keep those questions coming, guys. But lots of things coming up. If you guys like what you're hearing, follow us on all of our socials. Keep gaming, keep learning, keep it rocking. That's it. That's my sign off. That's my sign off.
Keep rocking.
Okay.
As always, guys, happy gaming.
Happy gaming, guys. Catch you later.
See ya.